Hello and welcome to the PottyP on FC episode 1. It's Saturday the 11th of July 2009, the start of a pre-season of the 2009-10 season. This is the first time I do this, and we'll do this fairly regularly, probably whenever. I'll explain to you later, that's later on in my notes. So we have a new season. Ready FC have come back into training on Monday. And they have their first pre-season friendly on Wednesday. So a lot of things happened over the summer. After we lost in the playoff semi-finals back in May, Steve Cobble decided it was best for him to resign, which, you've got to respect his wishes. He's a legend. He's a living legend. We've got to respect him as that. He's the greatest manager Reading FC. He was the greatest manager that ever will manage Reading FC, probably. Best not, but probably. I have a lot of respect for Steve Cobble, and he's gone now, which is fair enough to him. We now have Brendan Rodgers in, who was the manager at Watford for the second half of last season. He picked Watford up from in the relegation zone, got them in table, which is respectable. He used to be here at Reading. I believe he was the youth coach, someone like that. Until a few years ago, he was then handpicked by Jose Mourinho to go and be the youth or reserve. I think he did both jobs, youth and reserve team coaches at Chelsea, before Watford then picked to be their manager, and now he's come back here. Now, I'm a bit sceptical of the man. Things he said in the media made me think, not sure. But I think we should let him to be judged on his football. Which really is wait till September, so we've seen the first year of his football. See how he handles stuff. See how he handles pressure and success, and cause I'm sure both of them happened in the first month, losses and wins. And I think happened this summer before Brendan Rodgers actually came in. I probably should have said it before, but I didn't, because I thought Brendan Rodgers was probably more important. Is Nicky Hammond, who is the director of football at Reading Football Club, got interfered. He was essentially the caretaker manager between Coppell and Rodgers, but he decided to release some players. He released Marcus Hanneman, the American goalkeeper, who'd been there for ages, and as a lot far back as forever. Alan Pardew signed him, and I was fairly upset about this, but we've got Alan Federici. So Marcus Hanneman, but ironically, he's been released by us, a Championship club, and he's now been signed on by a Premier League club, Wolves, and they've now got him because they're a bit unsure about Wayne Hennessy, although I think Wayne Hennessy is better than Marcus Hanneman, but all the same. Also, Michael Dewberry left. I was very upset about, because I think he's a very talented centre back, very good, and he really is a very good player. So I was a bit upset that he left, but all the same, what are we going to do? We also released Graham Murty, who's the captain for ages. He's been here for 11 years now, actually. Was there for 11 years until the summer, signed in 1998. But they were at the first season in the Madejski Stadium, signed from York City, about 600,000, something like that. I'm not sure exactly. He was the captain for a majority of that time. He's a very player. He did Monday mornings on BBC Radio Berkshire, which we won't be doing anymore. He's in trouble with injuries at the end of his career, so he's left. We're still giving his testimonial, which I'll speak about later. That's it in 3 items time on my pre-season section. We also released Lee Rolita. He was £1 million in 2005, and he's been a bit up and down really his time here at Reading. And he's been talking with a few clubs. He's been talking to Southampton, but nothing really clear out of that. He also talked to Crystal Palace, and they turned him down because he wanted too high wages, which I think is a bit weird. I don't think about Lee Rolita. I think he was a bit too self-conscious. If I was a player, if I'm not a big player, I'm a player the size of the player as famous as Lee Rolita, and I'm not a free agent, I think I'd take a contract with Crystal Palace. I mean, they're not exactly going to pay you minimum wage, are they? But yeah, all the same. We also released Sam Sodji, who we signed in 2006 after he got promoted from Brentford. Bit of a flop. Played late twice. I think he got sent off in one of those, although that wasn't Manchester United. Spent a lot of time out on loan, and he's been released. He's not yet got a club, I don't believe. And Scott Goulbourne, who was a bit of a flop as well, got released. A couple of the youngsters as well have gone. Dan Spence and Gary Fruin, and I think there might be a couple of other younger ones that I can't remember at this moment in time. So Kevin Doyle, he's moved on. Very sad to see him go, although we wish him all the best. We have to look at this carefully, because to be honest, Kevin Doyle is a brilliant player. He's been a brilliant servant to the club, and he's been very committed. He never said he wanted to leave, but he said he'd like to play in the Premier League, and I really respect him. and he had a 6.5 million release clause in his contract, and Wolves offered 6.5 million, so he's gone there. Although Fulham were also interested. Wolves are the ones he ended up being signed by. I think wish all the best to him. 6.5 million is more than he's worth, really. He's worth about 2.5 to 3 million, I'd say. 6.5, we're lucky to get that amount of money. So it's grand. Really, it's left. We should all applaud him and stuff. I believe he's coming back through Mighty Testimony, which again I will speak to you about in the pre-season section, which is the item after next on my list. And I believe he's going to go there, so we'll have a chance to clap and everything. Right. So that's that. The next signing, we haven't actually signed anyone yet, and the only player I've heard of really linked with is a player called Tommy Smith, who's at Watford, who Brendan Rodgers knows with because he's was at Watford. I don't know much about him. I know he's a striker. I believe he's Irish, so I'm not sure about that. He might be English actually. He's alright. He's pretty average. He's probably not as good as Noel Hunt or Shane Long, but he's better than Sam Sodji. He's better than David Mooney. That's not Sam Sodji. Sorry, I mean Simon Church or David Mooney. That's for sure. He's pretty average. He'll probably be a bench warmer, but we need depth. We can't go without depth. Pre-season section. Reading have their first pre-season friendly on Wednesday, the 15th of July, this coming Wednesday, kicking at 7:30. They'll be away to Didcot Town for next Saturday, the 18th of July. They have two games at once. I think there's going to be a stronger team away to Kettering Town and a weaker team at Tooting and Mitcham. On Monday, the 20th of July, the game I'm going to talk about in quite a bit of detail in a minute is the Graham Murphy Testimonial, the current Royals team, v sort of a past Lanes team, the building its championship winning side, although there are a few players such as John Solarco and Martin Butcher and Phil Parkinson who left before we won the championship. And that's that. I was going to talk about depth. I just talked about depth now. There we go. So it's going to be a great game. Unfortunately, Steve Coppell can't make it because he's got family commitments. So Kevin Dillon will be in charge of the past Reading players team and play the current team. Hopefully we'll get Ingemar. What I'm hoping is that players like Ingemar and Harper, although they're still with the club, they did play an integral part in winning the championship. So I would hope that they can still. They're still better to play for the Legends team rather than the current team, but Brendan Rodgers might want that. Depends. Really, well, as long as they're involved, really, and there'll be probably a lot of subs, probably see a lot of names mentioned. I mean, someone like Nicky Hammond might even get run out because he was a goalkeeper, I believe, at one point or something. I mean, he was a goalkeeper, just a bit before my time. I'm quite young. And then after that we have a week. It was originally on a Tuesday. They moved to Monday because they fly off to Sweden on Wednesday, the 22nd. And then they have 3 games in Sweden, the 23rd, the 25th and 27th. I think it's 3 teams who are on the 23rd they're playing Jonsered IF, on the 25th they're playing Tolo IF, and on the 28th they're playing Gvivding FAF. So that's who they're playing. Before on the Saturday the 1st of August then they have their pre-season game at home to Chelsea, and then we start the season on the 8th of August at Nottingham Forest. So that's pre-season, so it should be exciting. Squad numbers, that's something I have to talk about. That was the kit launch today with the new kit. It'll come new numbers. Normally, there have been a few squad number changes. I've tried to put it in practice. I tried to read out from the list. That word didn't fail because I missed quite a few. I'll read out from the article. The main movers, including Shane Long, who is set to make changes over the number 9 shirt. It was previously 24. Main movers include, I'll just read it again, even though I marked up that, I was reading it. Shane Long is one of the main movers. He's moved to number 9 from 24, and Ferrucci moves to 1 from 32, and Liam Rossignol moves to 2 from 22. Madejski moves to 8 from 7, and J Tab then takes that number 7 from 37. Other players moving are James Henry's 17 from 27, and Church at 18 from 35. Also, James Carradine is 20 from 21. And a few of the younger players have been moved their numbers a bit, but nothing really to highlight. You'll notice in plenty of time. The next thing I wanted to say is email. This hopefully will become a fans thing rather than just me rabbiting on. So you want to say, there will be an email, but I'll tell you next week when we're on. I'm going to do during pre-season. I should be on every Saturday, hopefully, apart from 2 weeks' time. I'll be on holiday. And then during the season, if you build up and a preview program to every game, so there's a game on Tuesday, we should do a game on a Monday that's build up. On Wednesday, it's a preview. And if it's on a Saturday game, we'll do a Friday build up and a Saturday evening. I didn't build up a preview, build up and reaction, Saturday evening reaction. And then please subscribe. That's pretty much it. I've got to say, please subscribe to my channel of things, and you get told when all my new things are out and you can watch them. And that is almost exactly 10 minutes, and that's all I have to